Hi, happy Tuesday. I just wanted to have a chat today about meditating. So, one of the things I've been doing now for a couple of years has been to start with learning how to meditate, and then, secondly, trying to ensure that I have a regular practice of meditation. Now, one of the reasons that I started meditating was actually when before I owned Juice It, and I'd just been promoted in my job within Thies, and I was in a place of being completely overwhelmed, and I wasn't coping very well emotionally with my new situation. I'd been moved from a project in Gladstone where I was going home to my kids every night to being on a project where I only got to see my kids once every 3 weeks, and sometimes not even that. And so I was having an adjustment process, plus I was given an extreme level of responsibility in comparison to what my previous job had been. And because I didn't really know what to do to work out how to manage that, I started looking for alternate means other than just learning. So that's when I started. That's what actually triggered my journey into self-development and growth. And through that, found that by meditating, could get answers to questions that I couldn't work out in my brain. And the process has been a long learning as well. And I've tried numerous different types of meditations. The one that I'm doing regularly, like nearly every morning now, is the Tony Robbins priming meditation, which is 10 to 15 minutes and involves like a breath work type session, very short, intense breath works with heart gratitude, and then a process of like visualization of your things that you could do for success. It's a really simple, quick meditation. And then I follow that with a energy activation type meditation. And one of the reasons why it's so relevant right now is it's school holidays, and obviously it's only a week away till Christmas, less than a week now, 6 days. And my stress levels have been a little bit high of late. I've just been tense. By yesterday afternoon, when I got home from being in the kitchen doing the juicing work, and I was a bit tired and worn out from a big day, got home and my kids were still in their pajamas, teenage boys, and the house was a mess, and the dishwasher was overflowing and the rubbish was overflowing, and I just wanted to have a brain snap. I just wanted to lose my shit at them. I wanted to yell. I could feel like this anger just boiling in me, that I was just like, I can't believe that you could be so lazy and so disrespectful, and I had all this like going on, and I managed to not explode that shit all over him, 90% not explode that shit all over him. I did express a bit of frustration, but I didn't express the actual level of anger that was going on at the time. And this morning when I got up, I thought, right, a very wise person, an energy coach that I'm using at the moment, Sarah, advised me that whenever I feel a level of conflict, especially like anger and the build-up of resentment and things like that, that I really have to look inside me at what it is I'm doing to me that then is making this reflect back. So it's actually not my kids' fault that they spent the day like that yesterday. It's actually the way that I'm communicating with me on a very subconscious level is inviting that behaviour into my world. And that's a little bit confronting to try and deal with. But I sat in the question this morning of how I could deal with it better. How could I get a better outcome? And one of the things I realised in the meditation was that I was angry at me for not meeting my own level of expectation around the amount of motivation I think I should have at the moment, the amount of work I should be getting done at the moment. So I've been at a fairly deep level really giving myself a really hard time about not being good enough, not being strong enough. And instead of really actually seeing that at the time, I saw it through the reflection of the way that I reacted to my kids. And so this morning after my meditation, I decided to do a bit of a process of forgiveness, acceptance. And I also went and saw the kids individually and said to each of them that the behaviour yesterday was unacceptable and that I had different expectations for what today was going to look like. But they had a choice. They had freedom to make a choice to either choose to find things to do and do them in a respectful way where they clean up after themselves, but they're not staying in their pajamas all day, they're not laying in bed all day, they're not watching screens all day, they are not attached to electronics all day. And that if they had trouble finding something to keep themselves busy, I would support them with making sure that there was plenty of jobs for them to do. So you can imagine how happy they were about that. So I had a number of jobs like cleaning the ceilings of the verandas, washing the cars, looking after the fruit trees. There's always plenty of weeding my veggie garden. There's lots of jobs that I could give them around here. Amazingly, they have all day been playing games. They got out and played cricket, and they played some table tennis and some pool, and they've been listening to music, and they've been doing lots of stuff that doesn't involve a screen or an internet connection. So it worked out really well. We haven't fought about it. I didn't yell about it as much as I wanted to, and we've actually got a much better outcome. And I really attribute that to taking the time to not react immediately, to not be controlled by my emotions in the moment, to take a breath, to stop and reflect internally. And by taking that time to reflect and look at my part in that, getting a much better outcome for us all. So it's something that, at this time of year when you're spending time with family and friends, and sometimes you might have, some historical backlog of resentment or anger, or there might be certain behaviours that people do within your family circle or friend circle that you really don't like. Just maybe meditate on it and maybe just take stock of yourself. Maybe have a little bit of internal reflection. Maybe take a little bit of time out, ground yourself to the earth, touch the ground with your bare feet and just breathe. And then once you've actually got an answer, then take yourself back into that situation from a much more centered place. And then if you still don't get that level of response or outcome that you really want, be really easy on yourself. This is something I am learning quite a lot, is how to be easier on myself. And so, it's a learning experience. And so I hope that at this time of year, when you're feeling the pressures or feeling the stress like I have been, that maybe this might help a little bit. I'd love to hear any stories that you have, anything that you want to share about your experience. Do you ground yourself every day? Do you meditate? What style of meditation do you do? Anything like that. And do you have any other tips for how to stop yourself from reacting badly if you're in a situation where you feel like you're going to have a massive emotional explosion at people around you, especially at people that you love? That's my share for today, and we'll chat again tomorrow.